What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be ranking TVDU villains from worst to best. Now in my previous videos I often talked about the villains in the shows, in Vampire Diaries and original, and who was in my whole top 3, and I was like, why don't I just show y'all my whole list, because I do have a ranking. I have a ranking for everything out there. You name a topic and I bet you I have a ranking for it. But yeah, there were quite a bit of villains in the shows. There were a lot of side villains, and we're not going to be ranking all of those. I'm just going to be ranking the main villain who was the target for the most of the season. All the villains and legacies were also trash. They're not in this video. They're just going to be TVD and the originals villains. Anyways, before we get into the video guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want to check out all my other Vampire Diaries videos, I'll leave my TVDU playlist in the description and you can check that out after the video. Again, this ranking is going to be based on how, what's your body count? Did you end up killing a lot of people? Did you have me scared? So don't get mad if your favorite villain's at the bottom. They just probably ain't step up to the plate enough for me. So anyways, coming in at the bottom is Sybill. If y'all don't know who that is, because I know there's a lot of people who didn't watch Vampire Diaries after season 4 or 5, they just gave up on the show. I don't blame you. Sybill, she's a siren. This is around the time they started introducing more supernatural creatures. I was not scared of her. I was not, I did not jump one bit. She killed in the show and stuff, but who didn't? She just did not scare me. As a villain, you need to make me hate you or fear you, and I did none of those. Especially after she told her story, I didn't have any hate for her. I kind of felt bad for her after her story. She really was made the way she was by Celine. It wasn't, she just didn't become a villain overnight. I'm just gonna start killing people, or I'm just gonna start antagonizing people. She was just made that way. That's the same for a lot of villains. You don't know them until they tell their story. Even some of the characters in the show started to sympathize with her. That's not what a villain come on now. So Sybill, you're at the bottom. Love you sis, but you're at the bottom. All right, coming up next is Kade. Again, if you did not watch the show after those seasons, you may not know who this is, but he had psychic power. Y'all, they started giving everybody in the show psychic powers. I kid you not. They gave so many people in the show the ability to just psychic. I don't know. It was just getting kind of ridiculous. But Kade, he was very strong. He was very strong. He scared me, but I didn't really hate him at all. He scared me because I thought okay, he probably gonna end up killing a lot of people. He's gonna kill Damon. He's gonna kill a lot of people in this show. That's what I feared the most from Kade. Him being a villain was so much of an afterthought for me after that season, y'all. I did not think of him at all after that, after his death. And he died so easily, I feel does anybody else feel he died too easily? You're not a villain. Villains need to be hard to fucking die. Bitch, Kai was hard to die. He was like a cockroach. He did not want to die. So Kade, I was scared of you. I didn't hate you, and I feel maybe leave it to the writers, maybe that's why I didn't like the way he ended. I liked his character though, but as a villain, could have been better. Coming up next is Rayna Cruz. She even had a little cameo in the originals. Sis had Klaus Mikaelson shaking in his boots. Do y'all not remember? I think y'all need to rewatch this show. Y'all need to rewatch. I don't blame you because there's just so much content, but you might need to rewatch. Rayna had the boys running. She had the boys running, them hiding, quaking, shaking, throwing up. She had them scared. Klaus Mikaelson, bitch, was scared of Rayna. When she was first introduced, I was like, okay, whatever. She's a little hunter. So what? We have Michael, who's the vampire of vampire hunters. Come on. She had me gagged. I did not expect her to be that strong. I thought she was gonna be a villain that would be defeated in a few episodes, several episodes. I thought they was gonna snap her head and she was not gonna come back. She really had people running away. I cannot get over her getting Klaus shaking like that. He was embarrassing me. I was like, Klaus, why are you shaking over this nobody? Who's Rayna? I was like, oh, she had my man's shaking, y'all. I did not appreciate that. All right, coming up next is Aurora / Lucien. They were kind of a package. I know they had their little split, their really dramatic split, but they came as a package, child. Not gonna put Tristan in there because he was a fraud. Tristan was a fraud. I don't even want to hear it. Don't even bring him up in the comments, y'all. He was a fraud. So that's why I'm only putting Aurora and Lucien. Let's just start off with Aurora. I hated her ass. I fucking hated Aurora. When I saw her pop back up in Legacies, y'all, the hate in my heart Aurora, I hated her so bad, y'all. She would not go away. I was scared of how much power she had over the Mikaelsons. Like, she was so successful in like manipulating them. That's what made me kind of scared of her, but I hated her so much, and that's why she's this hot. A good villain makes the audience literally despise you as a actor. Like, I hated the actor, even though in real life she's really sweet. Come on now. She came back to life to haunt Klaus's daughter. Like, how jobless you have to be to come back to life just for that? Now, going into Lucien, I hated him, and I was scared of him. After he became the original vampire, he actually killed a Mikaelson. Let me repeat that. He killed a Mikaelson. So that's why Lucien is also in this bracket. Again, I'm putting them together because they were just like, you know, they're kind of on the same level of hate. I hated them both pretty equally, but I was scared of Lucien more because of the power that he developed. He almost got Haley ass too. Like, it was not looking good for the Mikaelsons when Lucien was he was a good villain. All right, coming up next is the Hollow. I feel like a lot of people brush the Hollow underneath the rug. She killed 2 Mikaelsons. I know you're gonna be like, but okay, but it's indirectly. So what? The reason Klaus and Elijah are dead are because of the Hollow. Let's just be real. Like, your body count matters. Who you kill as a villain matters, and that's why the Hollow is this high. I was like, oh my god, how powerful are they making Inadu? Like, she was a fucking problem. I thought they were finished. I thought the whole Mikaelson clan was done. I thought they all had to die at the end, but I didn't really hate her. She was kind of annoying to me, but I was definitely terrified of her. I'm still upset about Klaus and Elijah's death. That's what made her a good villain. I'm sorry. Okay, this number 5, this was kind of hard. I was like switching back and forth. So coming up next is Silas. He was basically immortal. Kind of like the Hollow was, but he was such a good villain. Resurrected himself. Like, he kind of basically manipulated everyone into bringing himself back to life, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Again, with the psychics, like, Vampire Diaries was making everyone become psychics. I don't understand. I feel like that's an overpowered ability to have, being psychic. So that shot him up the list as well. Not only was he a good villain, I hated his ass. He was so annoying, but I loved him at the same time. So, I mean, I know, like, he was in Stefan's body, but, like, we can't deny his impact. Other than, like, killing Jeremy, like, you know what, Silas, Jeremy was so annoying in that season. So when he fucking died, I was like, oh, okay, Silas, you're the one. You're the one for me. All right, coming up next, you guys might be shocked or, like, may have forgotten about her, but I sure didn't. Coming up next is Dahlia. Not only was she, like, a main villain, but, like, she almost made the Mikaelsons extinct. If it wasn't for some BS writing that brought Esther back to life and kind of like tricked her, like, to distract her and for them to stab her with a knife, they did such a good job writing Dahlia's character, y'all. She was so scary. I really thought it was over. I thought Originals was gonna end. I was like, okay, after this season, is the show over? Like, she's about to kill all of them. She was about to get the entire vampire race up out of here. If they all ended up dying, Dahlia had to be this high. I don't care what y'all say. Always gonna be a top 5 villain in the TVD universe. Y'all won't talk about it. Y'all won't give her flowers, but I will. All right, we're in the top 3. These top 3, I feel like it's very common that these are a lot of people's top 3 favorite villains. Coming in at number 3 is Katherine. So hard to kill. You gotta be hard to kill as a villain. I'm sorry. Like, if it's easy to kill you, and that's why these top 3 are in the top 3. They were so hard to get rid of. Katherine, she literally lasted the whole thing. This has been running since the 1300s. Like, even the Mikaelsons could not get rid of her ass. A regular vampire, mind you. She had no special abilities. She was just a regular vampire. She didn't have nothing special. She wasn't a hybrid. She wasn't no heretic. She was just a regular vampire. But what she had, y'all, was big brain. There were obviously villains on this list that were more powerful than her, but her vitality, her ability to stay alive, so annoying. I hated her ass, but she's also one of my favorite characters at the same time. All right, and coming in at number 2 is... Okay, this is so hard. The top 2 was so hard because in my last video, I told you guys my top 2, but like actually sat back to think about it, and I was kind of shocked that I was even thinking about it. And number 2 is Kade. I was gonna put him at number 1, but I just couldn't. I had to like do a whole analysis. Like, I sat in my bed, I was rewatching clips. The reason he's at number 2 though is I did not once hate him. I did not hate Kade once in Vampire Diaries. I thought he was so fun, but he was so scary because he was insane. Was such a lunatic. He was sick in the head, and I know it's because of the way he grew up and like how toxic his family was. He was crazy. He would not only trick the viewers but like the people in the show. Like he'd be like, okay, I'm so sorry. Like 2 episodes later, he's back to being a maniac. He killed so many people. He killed his own family. Like, I was literally gonna put him at #1, but I just couldn't bring myself to not put Klaus. The reason Klaus is at the top is because he's been a villain since he was born. I'm sorry, Klaus he's just the best villain of on the show. I will say Kai was more insane than Klaus. Like literally, there were times where I thought like, okay, he's not right. Like he gotta be put in a hospital. Like something's not right with Kai. Klaus was like, it was just emotional trauma. He was just emotionally damaged. Kai was sick. But Klaus, I just feel like not only did he last a long ass time, but he has the biggest body count in the show. There was no way he couldn't be at #1. So as much as I wanted to put Kai at the top, Klaus is reigning supreme. This man has killed millions. He would kill like 100 people in a day. I will say the way he died was pretty weak. I did not like the hollow being the thing that took Klaus out. I know he killed himself with the white oak, like he technically killed himself. Basically was murked by a witch. Kai as a witch, the vampires and the werewolves couldn't even deal with him. Do you see why I had the issue with #1 and 2? Don't hate me for this ranking. I really struggled making it. Like I literally struggled with this top 2. I did research for this, so y'all need to like give me a pat on the back. Anyways, yeah guys, that was me ranking the villains of the TVDU from worst to best. Leave your own ranking in the comments because I know this is gonna be controversial and I know there's gonna be some people saying you left this person out, but like if they're not in this list, they did not have an impact on me. Like they were not giving villain. I did not hate them, I did not fear them. They were an afterthought. Where's Ketsia? Like where's the heretics? Like bitch, the heretics were like, could they even be categorized as villains like of that season? I don't know. And I didn't fear them at all. They didn't have me scared. They were kind of annoying. But yeah, leave your own rankings. It doesn't have to be the people on this list. Like give me your own villain rankings in the show. Again, if you were scared of anyone on Legacies, why? They were like fairy tale villains. Like the people on Legacies did not scare me. There was not one person. Malivore, nobody. But yeah guys, that was the video. I'm sorry if it's a little long this time, but I know you guys are due for like a long video. Don't forget, if you want to vote on the next video, keep an eye out on the community tab. I always do the polls there to vote on what video comes next. Keep an eye out on the community tab. I usually post those like on the weekends, so watch out for that. Again, if you want to watch my other TVD videos, I have an entire TVD playlist. Again, I'll leave that in the description and you can check that out after this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one.